You're tuned in to Community Conversations with the Trio, providing heavy doses of edutainment in the areas of health, education, politics, and business since 2011. You can always find us on the web at cctrio.com or get connected with us on Facebook, Twitter, and iTunes by searching The CC Trio. And now, your hosts, The Trio, Dr. G, Sean D, and main man Michael Dove, on Community Conversations with the Trio.
Welcome to Community Conversations with the Trio, Dr. G, Sean D, and my main man Michael Dove. We are here where all conversations are on the table. I missed you guys. What's up? Where you been? You been missing?
Yeah, we've been missing in action for a second. No doubt about that.
No, we haven't been missing. We've been around. We just had to take a hiatus. Isn't that what you guys, your PhD, what do they call it? You take a
sabbatical.
We had to go find ourselves.
Oh, I don't know about that. But the most important thing is we are back and ready to go.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
And you know, there has been so many interesting things going on in the news, and because we have taken a little bit of a sabbatical, we've missed a lot of this information, and part of our goal is to make sure we get this information out to our listeners. But so much going on, and recently the story that we just saw come out this morning, 3 women missing for decades, found in a Cleveland home. Come on.
That's crazy.
Can you, one for 9 years, one for 10 years, one for 11 years, the lady had to scream and kick out the bottom of a...
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What's even crazy, you ever notice that sometimes when you have these events and there's a hero, if you will, it's not like the hero that you would expect. It was homeboy next to the next door. So I was eating at McDonald's and I heard some screaming. He had the old school 1970 comb back fro. That Connecticut style.
Easy. Why don't we Connecticut? South right now.
But that's all right. God bless him. God bless him.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that, and then our girl Lauren Hill going to jail over
what?
You're not paying taxes. $500,000 in back taxes.
$500,000.
Did you hear? So what the plan was is that she was going to make an album. And she was going to make an album to help pay for her sales, to help pay for
the taxes.
Back taxes. Okay. Yeah. So I heard one of the cuts. Yeah, well, I heard one of the cuts yesterday.
What is she talking about?
She definitely got. They after I think they heard it too and said, "You ain't making no money with that. We sending you to jail."
Oh no!
Yeah.
Is that bad?
It was horrid. It was fast talking over some beat that it sounds like it was thrown together within minutes.
No,
it was not thought out, and I think it was the rush of trying to get things in place to pay it. That it wasn't quality work.
And so you go to prison when you owe that much money to the government, huh?
That's Wesley Snipes. He's out now. We can get him in here.
Oh, he's out?
Yeah, he got out on tax day, actually. They
get out of here.
Tax day, yeah.
Can you get him on the phone?
Yeah, I'll work on getting Wesley.
I want to be staying in
Mr.
shape.
Snipes.
But I would like to see a Blade 4.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Blade the Return.
He too used the money.
And then,
that's crazy.
Did you see the other story? This is interesting. The Air Force guy who was the head of the anti-sex assault area for the Air Force, himself charged with sexual assault. So this is the head guy.
I'm sorry, wait, whoa. Repeat that one more time.
He's the head guy for the Air Force who is over the anti-sexual assault bureau, is charged with sexual assault himself.
Get out.
Some woman in the parking lot.
Yeah, groped her. He was intoxicated.
Groped her.
Oh, there it is.
But but now you got to start having those conversations about what was the situation? See, that's one of the problems. It's so sensitive because he should have known not even put himself in that situation.
Right.
But then you jump on it so quickly because you hear a woman groped and he's sexual assault person. Was she groped prior to, and then when he tried to, what exactly occurred? Did he live? Because what you picture some drunk guy in a uniform staggering in a parking lot,
yes,
and then grabbing some woman, and we know that couldn't have been how it happened. Now, if it is, we got more problems.
Yeah, why couldn't that happen? That's
baby.
That's believable.
I know all about sexual assault. Let me come show you.
it could have been a how not to.
Well, they weren't they the ones. No, it was the Navy that got in trouble. That they actually had a system of assaulting women. I think they had some special thing they did at the end of graduation or something, and the women had to walk the gauntlet or
really?
something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I believe it was the Navy. It was the tail hook scandal. So it was the Navy that had a big problem with and then women started coming out going, oh yeah, that's standard.
That's
Wow.
Well, hey, back in the day, the village people, we were worried about Navy there a little bit, but then we heard that, we're like, okay, they are.
Wow.
wow.
So, I wonder what the punishment will be. I know he's been taken out of his post,
I would
but then,
imagine.
where's the jail? Don't people go to jail for things like that? What happens there? Where's the court martial? Because women got to be safe. I mean, you can't be safe with the military. My God. But oh well.
What was he thinking? I mean,
Well, he wasn't thinking. He was thinking about them Heinekens he had.
And that's the thing. So that's another situation of drink responsibly.
now wait a second.
Drink responsibly, man.
Wait a second.
A lot of issues with
in
drinking.
my younger days, I'm sober now, but in my younger days, when you overindulge, I don't ever recall even being overindulged where I'm going to go and grope
and assault
and
someone.
assault somebody.
I
So I just
To me, the environment has to predicate it. In other words, I think alcohol, being a drinker myself, it's the environment. Like, why, you see the college campuses and the kids are burning the car, they're running down the street. You're like, well, what? Why would they do it? What is going on? Because it's the situation. It's what they call the crowd mentality. Mm-hmm. And so what I'm worried about with this Air Force thing is he must, in his sober mind that was hidden behind the cloud of the alcohol, that was okay. Because the alcohol just loosens you up. It doesn't create different people. You're still you. It's just now all your things that used to stop you.
I'm gonna say it creates some different people.
No. You got it. It's got to be in there for it to come out. Alcohol doesn't add something to your personality. If they act crazy
I think
when they drink, they crazy. They just have blocks and things.
So you're saying it enhances?
Right. They block it in the daytime, and then when they get alcohol, it just opens the gates. And to me, when he groped that woman, that probably is a woman he knew. It probably or was they're on the base or they're in an environment he was comfortable in, and his.
So if you're an idiot,
his real mind probably said, "Well, I would like to, have some kind of relationship with this woman." His sober mind, and his drunk mind said, "Well, why not? Why don't you just go ahead and go get her? Here's your chance." I mean, you see people, "Oh, I'm an angry drunk." No, you're an angry person. It's just when you get drunk, all those things you hold it in, you just let them go.
wow.
Yeah, when they use that excuse, I was drunk and I, did this and killed that or did that. That was you. Is this alcohol goes? Oh, it's all right.
See, that's why I don't drink no more.
You know,
Smart man. Smart man.
Drink no more.
Did you see his
Main line.
mugshot? His mugshot looked like he was beat up.
maybe she was military too. Maybe we didn't say what happened to him.
Like he had cuts on her.
Yeah, he may have.
Like been in a fight.
He may have put his hands on the wrong woman.
So, but so it'll be interesting to see what happens to him.
And it's unfortunate for him and his family. I mean, he's obviously woke up this morning or whenever it happened and realized, wow, my whole life
This is not good.
How many times have we seen this? Though? When they wake up the next morning, like, what was I thinking? So many situations that we have covered on this show, where guys, ladies, you name it, done something stupid, and then wake up that next morning thinking.
But it's human. It's human beings, man. We have to,
Yeah.
it's a human
So
condition.
now the excuse is you can be it's human. This is being human. Part of being human.
Hey, man, ask the aliens. They say the same thing.
Now this next story, this is a tough one. Mother forced to pay spousal support to a man who raped her daughter.
Wait a minute. Mother forced to pay spousal support.
Yeah.
So some husband, her ex-husband.
Yeah.
The ex-husband raped her daughter, assuming maybe it's a stepdaughter, I imagine.
I'm not sure.
But if it was incest, he'd be in jail.
We'll check
So
it.
it must be a stepdaughter.
Wow.
But I would assume that it's got to be a stepdaughter. But the mother obviously makes more than he does. So when they got the divorce, he filed for support. What she was sharing in court was that this man raped her daughter and did it over a continual basis. The court said you don't have enough proof. It was her word.
Right. And why didn't you call the police then? Yeah.
So fast forward a few months, the guy finally admits to one count of the assault.
Oh, wow.
And this is after she had paid, I want to say, I can't remember, we'll look it up, $22,000 in spousal support.
Oh, my God.
And so he went to jail. And then when he got out of jail, he comes back to her and says, I need the
Where's my money?
So I'm thinking, this is...
But you know what? What did they say was good for the goose is good for the gander? I mean,
Come on, man.
If it was a woman, it was all
Are you
reversed.
serious?
Wouldn't it be a story?
Are you
If it was all
serious?
reversed. It was a man making money, and the woman, she did something to a son, and she, went to jail, came out, giving her spousal support. Would be a problem.
I can see where one doesn't, financially one doesn't have a
I don't even
bearing
understand.
on the other. I understand that, but still,
I don't understand what spouse support
doesn't.
If we were alive before we got married, and we were doing whatever we were doing, we met each other. We had shelter and vehicle and job, whatever we were doing.
Wow.
Then we get together. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then we split back up. Why is one of these people supporting the other in the first place? I didn't support you before I knew you. And where I get that from is, I'll never forget one of Johnny Carson's wives. I know you're a little young, Sean. You might have been Johnny Carson. Before Jay Leno, there was somebody else. But Johnny Carson, I never forget what the wife said. That was back when Entertainment Tonight first came out. And I remember they had her on there, and she was saying that he lost. He had to pay. He was fighting it. I believe it was back then. It was, I don't know, $10,000 a month. This is back in like the 80s.
Wow.
Or something like that. I don't want to, people can look up the facts. I apologize for missing the exact, but it was a lot of money. And, you're trying to say, why? We divorced. She was saying because she was used to the lifestyle. And now she didn't work, and I understand that. So paying her something because, she didn't work. But she said she had gotten accustomed to a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
And just because they divorced,
Chris Rock talk about
and
that.
she won. He had to pay for her lifestyle. I can understand if she didn't go to college because she was married to him, didn't work, so now she has to build up that, new, and should he take care of that or maybe, pay for her college? He obviously had plenty of money. I understand that. But to pay for someone's lifestyle? Mm-hmm. I mean, come on, man.
Yep. That's what I'm waiting on too. Yep.
That's why you better get that PhD, man.
I'm waiting for the wife to finish hers.
Yeah, I know it. Then you're going to be like,
Make a few more dollars. I'm used to a certain lifestyle.
But
Golfing every day.
But, when you make that commitment, aren't you making that commitment
For a lifetime?
For a lifetime.
Come on.
Yeah,
Have you seen the divorce rates of
50%?
You know what I'm saying? Have you seen the divorce rates?
That's why they say half. Go ahead,
Half,
right?
Eddie.
Half.
But that's okay. I'm okay with that. Half at the time of the divorce, and that's it. Not half and then payments for the rest of your life. Half. I'm okay with that. Half.
And then next month, half of what you make.
Half and then hasta la vista.
Yeah. Wow.
Good luck. God bless.
But this thing says, I pulled up the story. And this is this is in Los Angeles. Looks like Corona, Los Angeles.
Wow,
And
with the beer? No, I'm just
the daughter said that the guy, his name is Abar, abused and raped her for 16 years before she told her mother. He had threatened her that he would kill her mom, and he would kill my stepbrothers, and he would kill me. So when she found out, she filed for divorce from this guy and brought the charges. She was forced to pay him $1,300 a month. She said every time she made the payment, it was like, I'm paying the man that raped my daughter.
Well, that's exactly what's happening.
No, that's wow.
Crazy. That's insane.
That's going a little beyond. Yeah, and then the fact that he was in jail and he's out already is kind of concerning too.
Yeah. But again, that says something about just the general system anyway. It's definitely a flawed system, but I mean we've known that for a long time based on the fact that there's not on necessarily the rape side, but it's can be easy for someone to trump up a situation in order to get payments for things. Right. So that's I'm sure there's many brothers out there who can tell a long sob story about their situation. So it's not right, but it obviously it does happen. So that's an unfortunate situation of living in America.
Yeah,
There you go.
there's a price to freedom, and sometimes it's kind of hard to pay.
There you
Nation to nation.
Just like the gun debate, I find it abhorrent and almost silly.
That's
The fact that all they want to do is extend the registration and
the background check.
background check, and like they're fighting that. Now I see their point. They're saying, well, criminals aren't going to get a background check. And I'm like, what does that have to do with you?
Well, that's the same. Well, that's using the same philosophy to say, well, we shouldn't have background checks for certain jobs because criminals will get background checks.
Yeah,
Isn't that the whole point? You want to keep those individuals out as best you can.
Yeah, I don't even comprehend why they're fighting the bill. Now I learned, especially hanging with soon-to-be Dr. Sean Dickerson, the political process is a little bit muddier than we thought. A lot of times they'll tell you the top 2 things or 3 things in the bill, but underneath there there's 25 other things they don't talk about. And there's 25 other things is what the senators are actually fighting, but they're not going to say that because, I guess it's that relationship. Like, hey, why you got money for a bridge in this gun bill? And that's what they're fighting versus what the real bill is. So I understand that, and maybe that might be the case. Hopefully it comes out.
Well, the NRA had their conference, their 2013 conference over in Houston, Texas. I think it was this week. This week they're having it, maybe the end of last week, but they were a number of Republican current, sitting senators and different leaders that were talking about the idea of the conversation was broader than guns. It was about how Obama is trying to take away their right to bear arms, but also through in the Obamacare, and so they were throwing in all this other stuff. And then did you also see that the one of the supporters or the vendors at the NRA conference had a target made up of that was a likeness to Obama. It was a zombie style target that had the ears and the face and the features, and I kid you not, it was something that actually, if you go out to our Facebook at the CC Trio, you'll see the article out there with the likeness. Yeah,
it's
so
about
right
just
there.
a coincidence.
So the question is that a coincidence? Is that a coincidence or intentional? So
That's crazy.
This is when the Secret Service. I'm always sometimes a little bit disappointed, and they're very brave, and so I don't want to. But the Secret Service, I think, after maybe after the 60s or something, and since they kind of lost. I remember times I used to hear stories that people would just call the White House or leave a message on the White and say something wrong. And Secret Service at their house. Yeah. And, you see it on the news like, I was just, they misunderstood me. And they're like, who do you think you're talking to? You're talking to the President of the United States. You're going to jail, or we're going to kill you in your own house.
I think that's part of the PR relationship.
Oh man, you remember with back in the days, Kennedy and all these different things were happening. People start disappearing. Even in the Clinton administration, people committing suicide. I didn't talk to him. He was fired. Next thing you know, he's no longer with us. That's the Secret Service that I'm talking about. And now you get people doing stuff like this, making a target of the president. It would. Could you imagine Secret Service just walked in there and go, you know what? Is this a coincidence? Well, guess what? It's a coincidence. We're here and you're going to jail.
Well,
don't make a coincidence. Don't make that mistake.
The president of that company sent a letter. All right, so he sent a letter, and the letter, the excerpt of the letter states that the zombie virus does not discriminate, and neither does Zombie Industries. That's the company company, Zombie Industries. We take preparation for the zombie apocalypse seriously, which is why we strive to have all groups of undead monsters represented in our product selection. In addition to the African American zombie named Rocky, that's what they called it, we currently sell 15 other zombies, animals, aliens, and goes on. But it says, in their defense, to discriminate against African Americans by not having them represented in our product selection would be just plain racist.
Wait a minute. Rocky, Barack, I don't know. A little too close to me.
So he's saying they're
I want the
trying to
guys in the
reach out.
black suits at his house when he gets home.
Yeah.
So guess what you're going to do about Rocky? And it should just disappear.
So,
And well, let's,
interesting.
This reminds me of the. I don't know if you all saw the Bible series.
yes.
Did you see
yeah,
the?
I heard
Yeah, Satan.
And the producer
Satan having the
said,
same resemblance as
the producer said
That had, to me, that had, I don't know.
somebody
That had
on
to
that
get
set
one.
should have said,
Wow, he looks just like,
because everybody who saw that picture
Saw it.
his face in there.
Yeah.
I don't know how they could miss that. And they said, "What? We're supporters of the president." Come on.
yeah.
Well, but
Did you see the picture?
I did not see that, but let me say that on the other end of that, what does better for movie ratings, the good or the controversial?
Yeah, of course not. Yeah, controversial.
All right, so and we're still talking about it. How long?
But
after
the
it
Bible
aired, right?
itself,
So-
the series was already, phenomenal and was already had all it
They didn't
needed.
need that.
Yeah, they didn't need that.
Right, well, but now you got more people that probably went out and watched it just because of that hoopla. So,
I know, and I realize.
I mean, that controversy does.
Yeah, and being an African American,
I'm sure more
realize
people are going to buy this zombie.
we're always overly sensitive to that because I'm one person that I'm always in defense of. Wait a minute, calm down. Like nothing hurts me. My family see that? Oh, the police they shot the guy. And I go, okay, oh, they shot him because he was black. I said, oh, what was he doing? Well, he just robbed a store, but he didn't have a gun. And he was he just robbed a store, but he shot him in the back. What would the store owner do if he had a gun? He probably shoot him in the back. I said, why you get a little too overly sensitive?
Differentiating there,
They want to
the
do that too.
situation.
I don't care. If you're a criminal and they shoot you, good, fine. But let's not get all let's not get overly sensitive. Wait a second.
Man, Michael Dove. Wait a second.
Lafayette showed up.
Like the Wild West.
NRA Representative Lafayette channeled through Michael
Wild
Dove.
West.
No, we can't have that, Michael.
Yeah, man, we gotta have it. That's how
Man, Michael, we
gotta
cannot have that going on in
gotta
our
have it.
society.
No.
Absolutely not.
No, it's got to be buck wild.
I thought we got to be better than that. I
like
thought that's
China
how
and
we
Russia.
did it.
No, it ain't working.
I thought we got to be better.
It ain't working.
Is that?
That's the problem.
It ain't working.
I think that's the issue. It
ain't working.
It is turning into a Wild West style society. Yeah, on
No,
both
because we're not
ends.
shooting
on
back.
both ends. So
We're not shooting back.
No, we're not shooting.
Wild West is
Well,
shooting back.
according to NRA, they need to put more guns into people's
Yeah.
hands. So.
Hey, look at something here local. I don't know if you've seen these Wawas, the Wawa stores around
The chains, yeah.
The new chain of Wawa is supposed to be some awesome chain. They have some great sandwiches. I have tried one of them. You pick your own sandwich. You like pick it on the computer and they make it for you. Whatever. So it seems like they're actually doing something. And so I was curious if y'all have the Wawa experience.
have not.
It actually is pretty nice. But it looks like they're doing something here. They're doing a hoagie building contest.
Where is it located?
One that's probably closest to you here might be
There's one on
30th and Hit Fowler.
Don't tell nobody where I stay now. I want to.
That's why they say closest to you here. It's 30th and Fowler that I'm aware of.
we have listeners all across the country.
Yeah,
track you down.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the NRA probably be looking for you. But it looks like they're doing hoagie building contests. It's supporting Big Brothers Big Sisters. And the reason I brought it up, I've noticed, and I won't per se attribute this to Mayor Buckhorn. I attribute it to a lot of things, the economy and things like that, but I'm kind of glad the mayor is also behind this. I mean, look at the new bank, C1 Bank, PNC is down here. That bank is from Pennsylvania. Obviously, we've seen Fifth Third. Now we got Wawa. We're getting all these new businesses coming from different other parts of the country. These are the very solid. I think Wawa's. I don't even say where it's from. I know it's from nowhere near here, and they're finding Tampa as a place to open their new businesses. And once again, all these regional banks.
Spoken like a banker.
Well, I'm just saying. Yeah, honestly, I'm a notice. I know more of those because I noticed them.
Right.
But it's.
I think we're not necessarily overbanked, but
oversubscribed banks.
Yeah, there's a lot of banks here. I think there's, I think to really thrive. Well, but to really thrive, you need the diversity of industry, and that's what we need more different industries, not the same.
And we used to have a lot of call centers and contact centers and things like that, and I hope they come back as well.
Yeah. So, but at least for today's conversation, so we're covering a lot, but we have guest interview with Melissa Erickson, who is on to talk about education and what that means, because part of bringing industry in, one of the issues is the question marks is the workforce. Whether the workforce is trained, it has is there a viable workforce for the jobs that would be coming here for the high tech and manufacturing jobs, and the other industries that would be potentially interested in the area. That I know that's been besides transportation. I won't get into that right now. But the education.
We need to get someone on for that.
Piece for that.
Get someone to talk to us.
Well, we'll get Commissioner.
But education is key. There's not a proliferation of those schools though. The Everest and the Argosy and the University of Phoenix and the around Munson, and all these schools are coming, trying to give these 2-year degrees. I just saw an article today related to that the 2-year degrees are being more sought after than the 4-year degrees. Are cheaper to get you in the workforce faster. I don't know if that's good or bad, but at least we're trying to do something out here to get the workforce ready for the future.
Great point, main man. But as we look to shift gears here, Dr. G, you always have something for us to talk about the health side of the equation, especially as black men. That's something we always need to keep in mind. So what do you have this week to share with us?
So guys, one of the topics that we've covered on the show for quite a number of years is this whole issue of prostate cancer screening and testing and so forth. And one of the things that we have found is that men have been confused over the years because the recommendations have changed so much year after year after year.
Right.
And just 3 days ago, new recommendations came out from the American Urological Association, basically saying that we have a new recommendation. So again, we got this group, a separate group, who is saying that we have a different thought on how men should approach this situation. So basically what they're saying is that if you are a man under the age of 40, you shouldn't even look to get a PSA, period. Men ages 40 to 50 shouldn't be tested if they're at average risk for the disease. So if you're 40 to 50, average risk shouldn't be tested. Those at higher risk, such as African American men and those with a family history of prostate cancer, should take it over with their doctor. For men 55 to 69, the test makes the most sense. So they're recommending a shared decision by the doctor and the patient about the test. And then, this is new, they're saying once the test has begun, you should only get tested every 2 years, as opposed to it's been every year in the past. So they're saying going away from being tested annually to every 2 years.
And who is this saying this again?
The American Urological Association.
Okay.
And then finally, the group says that men over the age of 70 and with less than 10 to 15 years of life expectancy should just skip the exam. No testing whatsoever.
Wow.
So again, we have a whole brand new set of guidelines from the American Urological Association. So if you're a man, and depending on which website you go to, you're going to have different recommendations. The ACS is different. You have the American Urological Association is different. The U.S. Public Health Screening Service is different. Then you have these other groups, the National Medical Association, which guys are the black physicians in the country. They recommend that you do get screened for prostate cancer, particularly if you're an African American male. The risks are higher, 2 times higher risk for African American men of getting the disease as well as dying from the disease. So they're saying maybe guys who are from African descent shouldn't even be paying attention to this. So again, more controversy about prostate cancer screening. The way I look at it, is that irregardless of your age, you can be 40, 50, 60, whatever, you have to have that personal relationship with your doctor. And he or she will have that conversation with you, and as a team, you all decide if this is right for me. And I think if you go in that direction, you'll be safe. So, because you and your doctor know you best, as opposed to these recommendations. So
That's not what my wife says.
what does your wife say?
She says she knows me best. I do what she tells me.
So that's some confusing stuff there. So this is again just a situation of as you mentioned, is you need to be able to not only have the knowledge but be able to talk it over with someone. But apparently, depending on which doctor you're talking to, that's going to potentially weigh on the decision as well. So, what it sounds like is there is no right answer.
And don't let that stop you from getting checked. Period. At least once.
Well, what depends on who you're listening to. So if you're American urologist,
Yeah,
I wouldn't, right? So even though I got a history of it, maybe it's adding in the history of the family history. Father relative that would change the situation and being a black man.
And they're not even saying you should get checked. What they're saying is if you are 40 to 50, between the ages of 40 and 50, and you have higher risk, being African American, family history, you're not saying you should even get tested. They're saying just have a conversation with your doctor, and then you all decide. Wow is right. So, new recommendations. Here we go.
Yeah.
So, do your homework, get informed, and have that conversation with your doctor. There you go.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed another edutaining episode of Community Conversations with the Trio. To keep the conversation going, stay connected with us by visiting cctrio.com and following us on Facebook, Twitter, and iTunes by searching The CC Trio. Community Conversations with the Trio. Dr. G, Sean D, and main man Michael Dove.